Hey, what's up YouTube? As the title suggests here, we're going to be cutting one of the new Honda emergency steel keys on the Black Widow using the S1 clamp. Now, I've already done a video cutting this on the S2 clamp, and I'll link that in the top right corner. And the S2 clamp is absolutely the best way to do this, but if you don't have an S2 clamp, I'm going to show you how to do it on the S1. So first thing we'll do, I'm just go to favorites, type in Honda and Honda Steel, pulls up our profile. And one thing to take notice here, it is telling us to use the S2, and like I said, that is the best way to do it, but you can swipe and it gives us the S1 clamp and the D jaw on that clamp. Now, one thing to also take note here, on the Black Widow, most of where it's telling you to line the key up is just a suggestion. The machine's smart and can figure out where the key's at if you're not perfectly on a line, so it'll normally work. On this one, it actually matters. So what I do for this is actually use the shoulder stop and make sure that I put the shoulder stop on the clamp. Sorry, here, trying to get the camera to focus here. And I use the shoulder stop as a tip stop just on this little ledge here to make sure I get the key lined up correctly. And then there's also another step that, on using this one instead of the S2 clamp, where you have to cut the side cuts on the B jaw on the S1 clamp here. And again, use the shoulder stop as a tip stop to make sure that you get the key lined up where it tells you to, because it actually does matter on this. It'll cut the key whether you stop it there or not, but the key will not work unless you actually follow the directions there. So let me go ahead and get the clamp in the key machine, and we'll go ahead and do a cutting demonstration on it. Okay, I've got the clamp in the key machine, and like I did mention, you do have to cut the side cuts also, but it is better to cut the flat part first before you cut the side cuts. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to go ahead and just input the code. And on these Honda locks, the code is actually right here on top. On this lock, it is V111, so go ahead and type that in. And I will have a playlist too at the end of this video of all the stuff on the Honda 21 and up locks with the leashy and key cutting, everything all in one convenient place there. So you can check that out for more information on these locks. Now, we're going to look at this. We're going to be cutting the A side first. And we'll take our key blank, and the A side is with the slope here facing up. So go ahead and head over to the machine here. And like I mentioned, going to be using the shoulder stop as a tip stop to make sure I get the key in the right place. And just going to make sure I get the key flat and pushed up against the stop, because it absolutely matters on these keys, okay? And now that it's in there, we can go to the app, hit cut, and it's just going to tell us 2mm cutter, and we'll go ahead and we'll cut the A side. And what it's doing right now is actually identifying the key to make sure that you do actually have it on the A side. And once it indexes that, it'll go ahead and actually cut it. All right, so let's cut the A side. And we're going to get our brass off. And I'm going to flip it over to cut the B side. And same thing here, we're going to use the shoulder stop for a tip stop here to make sure that it's right in the right spot. And there's no little groove or anything for this stop to sit in. You just have to just kind of push it up against the clamp here. And I know I've mentioned this a couple of times here, but the S2 jaw is much easier to do it on that clamp instead of this one. But we'll go back over to the machine here, to the tablet. We're going to switch to the B side, right there on the B side. And we'll just hit cut. And now it'll actually go ahead and just cut the B side, and then we'll cut the side cuts next. So it's going to index the key again here, just make sure that you have it oriented correctly. And then it'll cut it. All right, so now let's cut the B side as well. So we'll go and get the key out, get the brass chips off here. And now what actually happens here is it cuts our actual bitting, but it doesn't cut the channel down the side of the key. It can't on that side because it would hit the jaw. And what that actually causes is the key cannot enter the lock all the way. It stops right there. It needs to go in a lot further than that. So now the second step to this, which you don't have to do on the S2 clamp, is we need to actually just hit home, go to trace duplication. All the way at the bottom is Honda. And now we can actually cut the side cut. So we got the A and the B side. So we're going to go and we'll select the A side. And go ahead and we'll flip the clamp here to the B jaw. And we're going to just make sure that we have the tip facing up here, which is the correct way. And I'm going to use the shoulder stop again as a tip stop to make sure it's in the right place, because it absolutely does matter. And also dropping it all the way into the jaw here. Sorry guys, here trying to do this around the camera. So get it up against that shoulder stop here, get it tightened in there, and now we're going to cut the side channel, and then we'll flip it over and cut the other one. So I'm going to just hit cut on the tablet, and we'll go ahead and cut that side channel for us. All right, so there's one. Now we got to flip it over and cut the other one. And so we're going to make sure that, once again, tip stop it again. And I'm just using the shoulder stop like I mentioned before, but you can use, I guess pretty much anything would work here as long as you can stop it right there. Even maybe like another key blank or something would even work, but just make sure that it is right there, because if you put it too far in, it won't cut it correctly and the key's not going to work. So we got the key chucked up in there. Now we got to go hit back, Honda again, hit the B side and cut, and we'll cut this side, and then we'll test the key out, and we should have a working key. Alright, so now we've cut all four sides of the key, and we'll go ahead and we'll test it out real quick to make sure that it works. Got the lock here. Alright, and a little bit crunchy, but it does actually work. And you'll see on the screen here floating a video cutting this with the S2 jaw, and then also the Honda 2021 playlist. If it were me, I would get the S2 jaw. It cuts residential keys and these, and it cuts these a lot better than this does. But in a pinch, this will work. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the comments. And until next time, we'll talk to everybody later.